Great Scott. Great Scott. Great Scott.
Hello everyone and welcome to another fabulous episode of Great Scott. This time we discuss the Superman Man of Tomorrow panel from DC's Fandome. The interesting thing I found about this, and when Fandome was initially announced, a lot of these Superman panels were all part of the first weekend. We were going to see them right away, and it made a lot of sense because Superman, the Man of Tomorrow, was available like August 26th or something, and then it was available on DVD September 8th. So we're 4 days after the movies actually come out, and we're now seeing this panel. I found it very enjoyable. You had the guy playing Martian Manhunter, you had the guy playing Clark Kent, you had the guy playing Parasite, three of the main players in the movie. And it was nice to hear them all talking. They showed a lot of shots of them in the recording booth. They had the director on, they had the writer on, they had the creator on, they had the executive producer on, and it was hosted by Matt Bomer. It was quite a large panel with a lot of people. It was about 50 minutes long, and there was a lot of information there. They played a lot of clips, they played the trailer. But the problem is we've all seen the movie already. It's interesting because normally you want to have a panel like this as part of the marketing so that you can get people to watch the film. I actually haven't seen the movie yet because I don't really buy movies anymore. I watch them on a lot of the streaming services, and when they become available is when I usually get them. And that's generally a different thing with something involving Superman or something that I really enjoy because I want to see it a lot sooner than it's going to be available on the streaming platforms. But it's just a very interesting choice, and I know that for whatever reason they had other stuff they decided they wanted to focus on at the first edition of Fandome, and then they moved all of the Superman stuff to this one. I know a lot of the creatives involved with Fandome were really happy with the way it worked, and were really happy and proud of all the work they put in, so they were a little dismayed when people were complaining they didn't get to see their hero or their thing or what they wanted. And from our point of view at the Superman homepage, there was really no Superman stuff at that first day, so to move it all to this day, it's cool. There's a lot of Superman stuff today, but something like Man of Tomorrow sort of got pushed to the back burner when that movie was coming out at the end of August, and now I don't know that there's as many people who would be interested in seeing this particular panel because even though the movie only came out last week on DVD, it's sort of old news, if you know what I mean. It's one of those things where we can already watch the movie. We don't need to be teased with these snippets, and during this panel, which was obviously recorded at another time, they're talking about things as if they're going to be surprises, as if we've not seen them or not had the opportunity to see them. It'll be good for people like me because it made me much more excited about this film than I was. I had heard a lot of complaints. I had heard people saying they hated the style, they hated the story, they hated the way the characters were treated, and from what I am seeing at this panel, I think it looks great. I love the change in the animation direction. I love how it looks. They talked about thick and thin lines, different way of drawing so that it looked more like a comic book. I really liked the way it looks. It looks like it was drawn, but it looks smooth and fluid. The colors are beautiful. I think it looks really great. And they talked about smalling this movie down. By that I mean making it a little more personal, making it more about characters, and their interactions. There's also big set pieces and big action, and of course you have Lobo and you have Parasite, so there's battles. But at the same time, you have Rudy Jones, who becomes Parasite, having conversations with Clark. You have Jean Jones having conversations with Clark. You have the Kents having conversations, coming together, FaceTiming with their son. Things that are little intimate moments between bigger-than-life characters really make the movie sound like it's got a different kind of a heart that is going to be really entertaining to watch. So I'm really looking forward to it. I am still perplexed at the movement of these things, and I get that they sort of realized they had way too much stuff and they couldn't do it. The other problem is that, and this is great because I like the idea of on demand. With all of these on September 12th, once 1 o'clock came around, you could watch most of them. They were all available from 1 o'clock September 12th to 1 o'clock September 13th. Meaning you could tune into any of the panels that were on there and active and watch them, meaning they were already recorded, so they weren't being done live. The great thing about that is on-demand is great. We're in an on-demand society where we're clicking on things where we could just watch them at home. And this is all free, so it's all free content, so complaining about free content seems kind of silly. I get that idea, but there's no schedule. When they did the other one, it was this big thing. Each thing was scheduled. They had hosts from around the world. They had this whole digital set where the hosts would beam in and they would introduce the next clip, or they would have conversations with people. It looked like they were right there on the same set, but they were really at different places in the world. This one doesn't have all that hoopla. This almost feels like, well, we've got this Man of Tomorrow panel, let's just stick it here. Well, we've got Superman Enduring Symbol of Hope, let's just stick it here. And if anybody wants to watch it, they will. We're not going to have hosts. There's a host of the panel, but there's not these people that beam in from across the world talking about how excited they are. It's just done in a very different way. It's simpler, it's easier, you can get right to what you want, and you don't have to wait for the times of day that those things are premiering. They all seem to be on there, which is definitely very convenient, but there's no fanfare. There's no, wow, at 7:30, the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League panel is going to be on. It feels a little bit like they just said, we have all this stuff, let's put it up. You can look at that and say they wanted us to have it. They wanted us to see it all. They don't want us to have to wait. But we did have to wait. We waited past the time that it was originally supposed to be on. So it's just kind of a weird situation. That all being said, I loved all those guys on there. Bomer was great talking to them. The people who play the characters sound great. The animation looks great. And I think you're really going to like this Superman Man of Tomorrow film. The other thing they talked about was how Lobo is sort of the man of yesterday and Superman is the man of tomorrow. And I never really thought of Lobo in those terms before, but if you think about Superman being this guy who cares about everyone, is very empathetic, is very emotional, is very in touch with people, is very human, even though he's not an actual Earthling. And then you have this Lobo who's brutish and boorish, and obviously Superman gets into all kinds of brawls and breaks things and knocks people down, and because they're big battles and they're superpowered, but at the same time, that's Lobo's whole MO. And you might think, he's this cigar-smoking, beer-swilling, larger-than-life, angry personality, whereas Superman is tender and emotional and very thoughtful. So they're two different sides, and you might think the man of yesterday is this brute kind of a guy that men have to be tough and walk like this and be really angry all the time and show how tough they are. And the Man of Tomorrow can be more sort of in touch with his sensitive side and not have to worry about looking and feeling and being and acting a certain way. But of course, Superman is very manly and very tough and very imposing when he has to be. But I just thought that was a very interesting way to compare the two characters. I'm looking forward to the movie now, more than I was before. I'm very excited. Thanks everybody for watching, and remember, always look up in the sky.